I went from broke teen dad scrounging around for rent money to running a 6-figure Facebook business on autopilot in 6 months. Listen in as I give away all the secrets that got me to 6 figures, and join me as I uncover and conquer the roadblocks on the road to 7 figures. This is Andrew Pabia, and you're listening to the Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. What's the problem? All right, guys, so today on the Game of Entrepreneurship, I want to talk about being self-aware. This is something that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about a lot, and I think it really just needs to be focused on more by the general public. So being self-aware, what is that? I think being self-aware is being able to recognize your inefficiencies. Is that a word, or is it deficiencies? I don't know. Right there. That's one for me. Vocabulary. How can I better myself? So yeah, that's the next thing. So really is just recognizing a problem and then being able to fix it. Now, how do you do that? There are a number of different ways, and that's just all a part of it. You just need to figure it out. What do you need to do to get better in this way so that you can continue to evolve, grow, and kill it in your game of entrepreneurship, right? So I think Gary Vaynerchuk actually has a book, and if anybody has read it, let me know. Be sure to email me or something, and let me know how it is. I'm actually thinking about getting it, but yeah, just being self-aware, know where you are lacking, and then do whatever it takes to because, you know, the thing is, a lot of people have this, like, they think they can't get better in a certain thing. Like, I remember when I was younger and I was in high school, I had an extremely hard time learning math. But the simple fact was, it's not that I could not, I just didn't, it was impossible for me to get better at math. I just didn't have the drive to learn it, and I lacked from that. And that's just, you know, that's funny, like, that I'm saying that. But I think, you know, I think schools, to drift off here for a second, I think schools are behind. I think our school system is not evolving like it should be. It's not up to date with the times. Like, I think we're teaching, the way we are teaching students is the way that we would be teaching students in the 1800s. They fill into a classroom when there's so many more ways to learn. And I also think that schools are lacking because they're not letting you find out what you're good at. They're teaching you a curriculum, and they're asking people who are not necessarily designed to be good at math or have zero desire to be good at math to go learn math and learn it extensively. And I don't think that's necessary. You know, I feel like if I were to be able to get a little bit more business training, maybe a little bit more, you know, maybe in high school if they had like a public speaking or something like that, I feel like those would have benefited me the best, because in all, I always knew that I was going to be a leader of some sort. And I'm still on my journey of becoming a leader. And I think that those things, if it were more catered to me, if school were more catered to the individual, it would help a lot. But guys, that's where self-awareness kicks in. You just have to know where you're lacking and well, first of all, it all boils down to the end goal, right? What do you want to do? What are you passionate about? And what is going to stop you from hitting that goal? Where are you lacking, and how can you get better at that so you can reach that end goal, right? That's what it's about, is having an end goal, like really just hitting the end goal and being successful in whatever you think success is. Now, success, I always say, is different for different people. But yeah, just guys, really do me a favor. Take a second out of your day. Think about it. Where do you want to be? Then think about, okay, what do I need to get there? What do I need to do to get there? And then think about the steps along the way. What do you need to get better at in order to become more efficient so that you can get there faster, right? That's what we want. Like, it's all about, guys, just know. And then also know your limits, guys, because I'll do this. I will say this. I have a really bad issue with, so I don't know how many of you guys know this about me, but I have ADHD. And so I was taking Adderall from like second grade to like the end of high school. And I remember at the end of high school, I was like, you know what? I don't want to take this stuff anymore. I don't want to live. I don't want to be dependent on this. And so I remember quitting it. And I tried life like that for a little while. And I just remember and it still happens to me, even if I do take Adderall, but I get off track. You'll notice in this podcast that I wonder, right? So, and even in conversations, I'll just flat out forget what people are talking about. Cause it's not because I'm just focused on a lot of different things. Like my short-term attention span, my long-term attention span is a little bit the thing about me is when I have a goal, I don't know, and this works whether I'm on Adderall or whether I'm not on Adderall, is I'm able to really dial in on something with singleness of purpose. And that is like, it really, I don't know if it's an advantage or a disadvantage, guys, because the thing is, I'm not trying to sound braggy in no way, but I'm always really good at something that I want to be good at, right? Or that I'm passionate about. I remember at one point in my life, it was soccer. I was extremely good at soccer when I cared about soccer. And then, I'm always one track. Like if I'm in a lot of different places, like if I've got a lot of different things going on, like if I'm involved in several activities, a lot of times I'm not as good as where I'm not as efficient, right? So I'm not as good. Like for instance, there was a point where I was doing MMA because I was passionate about both, right? But I have singleness of purpose in one thing, and I think it's just the way my brain is designed. I can't seem to focus on getting better at something else because I'm really just dialed in on the one thing, right? So there was a time in high school when I was in MMA and I was in soccer, and I remember I continued to that season was just bad. I was horrible that season, even though I had been really good in the past. I just wasn't focused on that, and that's just one thing about me. I really, really dial into things, and that's what helped me scale my income in this past 7-8 months is because I committed to something. I wanted this. I want to create a life for my family in the future, but I will say this. I know I need to improve on maybe systems or improve on schedule and just making sure I stick to that because sadly enough, I get so addicted to what I do. I literally work for like 20 hours. Guys, I don't sleep that much. I mean, yes, I will get nights where I get a full 8 hours, but for the most part, I don't at all. And then I literally am on this laptop and I just get carried away because I'm passionate about it. I love the fact of I like being able to change people's lives. That's what I'm kind of doing right now. So I got a business running I'm doing lead generation for local business, doing Facebook ads and funnels. And then I have a business teaching other entrepreneurs how they can create a life for themselves by doing the same thing. And so I'm really passionate about that right now. I'm passionate about being able to change people's lives. It's really motivating to me. I was able to help a girl in New Zealand land a car dealer client, her first paid client. And that's that's her first step on her journey. Right? That's just the beginning. I was able to help a guy land a car client in Costa Rica and all over the US. There wasn't anybody who so in the ClickFunnels community that was absolutely killing it with a car dealership funnel. Not in the way that I had, at least. I had talked to some other guys who were supposedly experts in the space, and I saw flaws, is all I'm going to say. And so when I was able to create a funnel that destroyed it, there was no question about it, these were hyper qualified leads for car dealers, I was able to give that back. I gave it to thousands of people for free. And people started landing car dealer clients off of that. And so to know that I'm literally changing people's lives from what I do, I just get so hung up in that. And so I forget sometimes what's really important to me. Obviously, what gets me motivated is creating a better and better life for my family, my son, be able to give my son and my fiance amazing experiences. And so I get so caught up in that sometimes I neglect other things. I have a bad thing about balance. I really need some mentorship on just finding balance in life, in everything, right? But then again, would I be where I was at if I had balance? Would I have been able to scale if I didn't take on entrepreneurship with the intensity that I have for the past several months? I don't know, but I'm still learning, guys. I'm still on my journey as well. But yeah. I know that balance needs to be put in place because the simple fact is sometimes I get caught up on my laptop and then my fiance ends up going to bed alone and I feel so bad about it. But I'm just so addicted to it. And I think that's if you really boils down to it, if you really, really want to be successful, but you have that end goal in mind, keep in mind, that's my end goal is I want to make her happy. I want to make my son happy. But in the meantime, I'm making sacrifice. It's about sacrifice and how much are you willing to do? How hard are you willing to go? And so I feel bad whenever she goes to sleep. But then again, I also see us on the beach in Cancun sipping drinks out of a coconut. I'm just kidding. But no, really, I do have an end goal here. So just being able to upfront the sacrifice for back end gain is very, very worth it. I try to tell people that all the time. Don't get greedy. Just make the sacrifice now, and it will pay off hugely in the future. But yeah, guys, if you can figure out somehow, I'm not saying that I'm great, but if you can figure out what is it that you're passionate about, like very passionate about, then you'll be able to dial in like I was just talking about, and you'll be able to focus on this with singleness of purpose, and then it'll continue to make you happy. You'll be addicted. This will be something that you just look forward to doing all the time. You're going to continue to gain, but just remember just to figure out how you can balance as well, but stay motivated. All right, guys, super awesome talking to you guys. I can't wait to see you guys on the next one. Let's go. Boom! Thank you for listening in to the Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. If you loved the podcast, please feel free to rate and subscribe. Also, if you would like to learn how I was able to create a Facebook business and scale it all the way to 6 figures in 6 months, all you have to do is go to Andrew Dylan Pabia on Facebook. That is my personal Facebook profile. Feel free to follow me, and then that will lead you to my private Facebook group where I literally teach everything, exactly how I did it. I share everything in there. So guys, go check it out. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Game of Entrepreneurship, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.